Welcome, blissful greetings on the privileged day of the birth of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. We are continuing with the organization format features of Rigved Samhita. We know that the organization format of Rigved Samhita is of the range of 4,32,000 aksharas. These are the structured points of the transcendental domain. That means we are having points, structured points as transcendental reservoirs. The structured points, Bindu, is a reservoir, it is a Sarovar. Therefore, we will be having as many as 4,32,000 structured points fulfilled with the values of the transcendental domain. Means we are having the points values of the transcendental domain. Means 5 space values are taken as fulfilled within a point. This point becomes a Sarovar, a reservoir. The formulation Bindu Sarovar accepts values 26 plus 26 is equal to 52. And value 26 is the value of the formulation Devta, a god. We have seen that the first Devta is again the first Richa, first Sukta, first Adhyaya opens with again as a Devta. The formulation again is of TC value 14, and 14 as a domain takes us to 12 as a dimension. Therefore, the dimension superimposed upon a domain gives us a value 26. See, each Richa or mantra is having a Rishi which is of a TC value 12, and each Richa is also having a Devta which is of TC value 26, and value 26 is 12 plus 14, and we know 14 is of the organization value 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 parallel to fourfold manifestation layer 2, 3, 4, 5 of hypercube 4, the representative regular body of 4 space, presided by Lord Brahma, creator the Supreme. Therefore, this organization is sequentially taking us at the first phase as a Rishi, at the next phase at Devta, and Devta we know is of value 26, it is value 12 plus 14, and the first Devta is again, so again is the formulation which is of value 14. This way we see that we are having organization format which is unfolding sequentially from within, and it is this unfolding which is taking us to Lord Brahma, creator the Supreme, which are in the transcendental domain, and we are reaching at the creator's space, or within a creator's space we will be reaching from Rishi of TC value 12 to Devata of TC value 26 of the organization 12 plus 14, with 14 as a domain, and it is the first Devata. We are at again Devata. Then we have seen that the formulation again of value 14, and the fire god is a god which is having a split as pair of heads. Each head is having pair of horns. First part is having 3 arms, and the second part is having 4 arms. It is parallel to the 7 geometries range of a 3 space. Means 3 space is having as a 3-dimensional frame split as a pair of 3-dimensional frames of half dimensions, and there is a transcendence of the origin. Means 4 space as an origin is to transcend out. We are having triple negative signatures and triple positive signatures, and it is a 0 signature, a neutral signature. This split of 7 geometries range of -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2 and 3. This gives us a split of the triple arms and quadruple arms. Therefore, this split as such is a split of 7 geometries range, and the Devata value 26, which had an organization 12 plus 14, and we know 14 is equal to 7 plus 7. Here it would be blissful to take note that formulation Sapt, which is having a TC value 14, so simple rendering is value 7, while TC value becomes 14. Therefore, this value 26 takes the organization 12 plus 7 plus 7, and it is here where we'll see that it gives a split of 9 plus 7, and value 19 is the TCB value of formulation Chand. It is the third feature of a Richa. First feature is Rishi, second feature is Devata, and third feature is a Chand. And see the fourth feature. We are having a 7 and 7 as a split for a 40, and this joint as such of 7 plus positive 7 and this neutral. So 15 is going to be the value of a split when we'll have this, and value 15 is equal to the TC value of a swara. This way we see that the Richa is to be approached in terms of the Rishi, Devata, Chand and a swara. These features which we have to reach at will take us Rigved and followed by a Yajurved, and from Rigved Samhita we will be reaching at the Brahmana. See, the Rigved is having TC value 27, while Yajurved is having value 31, and Samhita is having value 30, while Brahmana is having values 37. See, now we want to reach, we don't want to stop at a Rigved, we want to proceed ahead. Now, if we are having a 3-space body which was splitting like this, now this 3-space body will lead us to 8 corner points, then we will have 12 edges, then we will have 6 surfaces, and finally we will have 1 as a domain. See, the summation value of this structural setup is 8 plus 12, 20, 26 and 27. If we had to stop here, then there would have been a virodh, means obstruction. No, we have not to stop here. We have to proceed further and we have to reach at a Yajurved. This reach would mean that this 3-space body will be having a 3-dimensional frame, and 4th is going to be the origin. So it will make the total structural components as a 40. One may have a pause here. One shall sit comfortably and one shall see that the organization format of a Rigved Samhita and as such of the Vedas and Vedic systems are sequentially taking us to the setup of a cube as hypercube 3, and then it is also taking us to this setup along with the dimensional frame. Therefore, we have not to stop at the domain as this setup of a cube, but we have to reach at a setup along with a dimensional frame as well. It is this reach will help us appreciate, help us comprehend. And now when we are at Brahmana, we see it is a value 37. And 37 you see the value 2 into 18 plus 1. And 18 is the value 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, which is parallel to a 4-fold manifestation 3, 4, 5 and 6. It is the value of a hypercube of 5. And we know 5 space is playing the role of an origin of a 4 space. As such, this structural format of a transcendental domain within a creator's space becomes the origin. So it becomes a Bindu Sarovar. Now within a 4 space, we know 2 space is playing the role of a dimension, and this value 2, if we see if there is a surface, then within a surface we can have a line as well as a plane. It is this feature that the Bindu is to go as a Sarovar, means instead of a single dimension, we can have both the dimensions as a distinct setup, a sequential setup, and it is this setup which will help us appreciate how the Kram means sequential, Samapti, how the linear sequential progression reaches its end value within a surface, within 2 space in the role of a dimension. Here in the context, when we'll go to the polygons, we'll see that this line within a surface as such is not exhausting the surface. Likewise, the angle is also not exhausting because we are not getting a closed system. We are getting a closed surface being enveloped by a boundary only in a triangle. That means only when we are having the triple axis, it is here where we have to see that this cube, this triangle is going to be a printout of a trimonad. It is going to be triplet of a 3-dimensional frame. It is here where we are having a trimonad. This trimonad is a setup which is providing us a surface enclosed. So enclosed surface is available to us only at a cube, at a 3 space. It is 3 space which is having a surface as enveloping surface. It is this feature which deserves to be comprehended well to be parallel with the Vedic systems. Therefore, the Prithvi, our earth, as it is, looks like a physical object. It looks like having a physical matter. It looks like a 3 space solid. However, this is not a 3 space solid in a 3 space. It is a 3 space solid within a 4 space. Let us sit comfortably and let us have a revisit to our earth, which is looking like an egg, a elliptical solid, elliptical formatted, ellipsoid. Now it is actually a 3 space body within 4 space. Therefore, the sadhakas are fulfilled with intensity of urge to be parallel to the organization format of Rigved Samhita have to approach 3 space not only as a domain. It is not to be seen only as a domain. As we have seen here, that the Virod, there will be 27, so our cube is having 27 as structural components. And 27 we know is equal to 3 raised to power 3. It amounts to that if we are having a 3-dimensional frame, not of linear axis, but as solids. So if we are having a solid triple dimensions, then the split will be taking us to a setup of the nature where the split will be into a pair of 3-dimensional frames of solid dimensions, and it will be leading to the pair of 3-dimensional frames of solid dimensions of value 3, 3 and 3 is equal to 27, and the second half will be giving us 27 and 27, and then we will be seeing that here within there is going to be a split which is giving us a 4-dimensional frame, which is getting creator's space in the role of an origin. And when we will be having a 4-space body, means a hypercube of 4 within hypercube of 4, then it is going to be a unfolding process which will be taking us to the inherent potentialities of inward and outward expansion parallel simultaneously emerging from the Bindu Sarovar. This Bindu Sarovar is the first component. It is the first component of soul syllable Om. The second component we know is a Ardhamatra. It is going to be Ardhamatra. And the third component we know is a Tripundaram. And then the fourth is a Swastik Pada. And ultimately the imposition as a Bindu Sarovar, as orb of the sun, as core of the earth, will give us a Jyoti flow, and it will fulfill the Sanatana base. This is happening. It is this happening which is depicted here in the sixth space from its navel is having a Lord Brahma's emergence. It is a creative dimensional order. And here is the goddess as transcendental enveloping, and here is the origin, a Sheshanag, the balance, a seventh space. So we have to appreciate how this setup of hypercube 6 is to be reached. The organization format of Rigved Samhita unfolds from within, and this unfolding process is of 432 aksharas, 432,000 structured points fulfilled with the structures of the transcendental domain. It is this unfolding process with which we have to be parallel to, and for it then we have to appreciate how the dimensional synthesis happens. If we have a first dimension of a n space in the role of a dimension, we will be having value n, and the pair of endpoints will lead to the value in between of value n minus 2. Now if we are having a pair of dimensions, we will have an additional value n here, but of it only n minus 2 middle value would be available to bridge the gap between the pair endpoints, and as such initial value n with contribution of value n by the second axis and n minus 2 value needed to bridge this particular vacuum gap lead us to value n plus 2. Therefore single dimension gives us value n, then the pair of dimensions lead us to value n plus 2. If we add a third dimension, then this value n plus 2 will have additional value n because of the third dimension, but then we have to fill a pair of gaps, and it will require a value 2 into n minus 2, and the summation value will be 6. Therefore single dimension gives us value n, pair of dimensions give us value n plus 2, and the triple dimensions give us value 6. So if we have a fourth dimension, then we will have an addition of value n, but we have to fill 3 gaps, and it as such will lead us to value is equal to 12 minus 2n. If we have a fifth dimension to be added, then here 12 minus 2n will have an additional value n, but we will require 4 gaps to be filled up, and it will give us this is equal to 20 minus 5n. See how it is happening. We are having n for single, n plus 2 for pair, 6 for triple, 12 minus 2n for quadruple, and 20 minus 8 or 20 minus 5n. See how the pattern coming to be. Here we are adding 3, and here we are adding 8. See what will happen next. We will have one additional value, and we have to bridge 5 gaps, and the pattern will follow, and it is this pattern which will help us reach at this tabulation of synthesis of dimensions of the same order. Now here we see, if we are at a one space in the role of a dimension, then single value is 1, pair gives 3, triple gives 6, quadruple gives 10, and so on. If we are having a spatial dimension, 2 space in the role of a dimension, we are getting 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. See the difference value. Difference value is -1, 0, 2, 5, and 9. You see what this gives to be. it gives us a value 2. It gives 2 plus 3 is 5. 2, 3, 5 plus 4, like this. Now see the diagonals. The diagonals of the polygons, as these are, will lead us to the same pattern. A polygon 4 is giving us a pair of internal diagonals. Polygon 6 is giving us triple diagonals passing through the origin. The polygon 8 is giving us 4 diagonals passing through the center. Polygon 10 is giving us 5 diagonals passing through it. See the pattern of it. This pattern of the internal diagonals of the polygons and this difference values of the linear order and spatial order is matching with each other. And not only that, we'll see further that any pair of consecutive orders, so if it is a n-dimensional order, then we have n plus 1 dimensional order, even then the pattern is to remain the same. It is here where we have to be face to face with the reach of the Vedic format. The Vedic format is going parallel to the natural existence phenomenon of our solar universe. It is this reach which deserves to be comprehended well, and when we are here and when we want to reach from 5 space to a 6 space, from Lord Shiva space to the Lord Vishnu space, when we want to have achievement like this, then we see the polygon 5 is constructing inner polygon, pentagon. These are, and none of the diagonals is passing through the center. But when we go to polygon 6, we see as many as 3. See, only 3 internal diagonals are passing through it. From here, there is a 0 number of diagonals, but here there are 3 number of the diagonals which are crossing it. It is hexagon, and it is this inner hexagon which ultimately is going to be the format of Madhuchanda. The Rishi Madhuchanda how the honey by honey bee is filtered, preserved and stored as a Bindu Sarovar. This way we see that the organization format of Shakala, Rigved, Samhita is so rich in its structure that it is going absolutely parallel to the existence phenomenon of our solar universe. Our solar universe is fulfilled with the structured points, fulfilled with the transcendental values, and over these transcendental values are imposed the values flowing as a Surya Rashmi, rays of the sun. It is this superimposition upon this range of structured points which makes the existence phenomenon for us. Therefore, the existence phenomenon within human frame, how from father to a son to a grandson, how this lineage is being structured, which in the modern language is said to be a DNA, though it is at a much lower primitive level of approach when we approach it as a DNA. But anyway, the lineage existence phenomenon of the human race, Homo sapiens, is to be chased as per the Vedic systems as Shatpat Brahman. Therefore, we have to reach on the one hand from Rigved to a Yajurved, and at the second step we have to reach from Samhita to a Brahmana. Now, this format will take us from Samhita to Satpat Brahman, and this Satpat Brahman is having 10 kandas, 10 parts. The names are Havi Yagge, Ek Patrika, Advar, Grahe, Sav, Ukha Sambharan, Harit Ghat, Chiti, Sanchit, and again Rahasya. This range of 10 formulations lead us to value 32, 25, 20, 15, 12, 41, 29, 10, 19, and 33, making a grand total as 248. You see the 248. Now, if we are along 5 cross 7 grid, that means if we want to reach from our sun, Surya, a 6-space body, to its center, a 7-space, means a pole star. So, if we have to reach from solar universe to its origin, that means if we want to reach from sun to a pole star, then we will be reaching 7 space with 5 space as its dimension. Now 5 cross 7 grid will accommodate all the 35 double-digit numbers of a 6-place value system. Further, we know 5 plus 7 is 12 and 5 into 7 is 35. Now see, 248 minus 12 gives us 236, while 248 plus 35 gives us 283. See, 236 are the total number of letters of Ganita Upsutras, while 283 are the letters of the Ganita Sutras. See, the mathematics of Ganita Sutras, the organization format of Ganita Sutras is parallel to the format of the Sthapatya Brahmana. Therefore, sadhakas fulfilled with the intensity of urge to be parallel to the Vedic systems shall follow the organization format of Sakal Rigved Samhita, and from here go parallel to the way it is unfolding as a Bindu Sarovar, and how this Bindu Sarovar is going to have a flow from a Vishnu Lok as a Divya Ganga Prava to fulfill the Sanatana, and this fulfillment is taking us to the Shatpat Brahmana, and with it the existence phenomenon within human body and existence phenomenon of our solar universe will go parallel. It is by being parallel to the existence phenomenon within human body and existence phenomenon within solar universe that we will be face to face with the way the sadhakas fulfilled with intensity of urge can dissolve the mental blocks of their intelligence field, and for it one is to provide a consciousness base, and this consciousness base is to be provided to the intelligence field by following the enlightenment path of the Creator the Supreme. The way Creator the Supreme meditates within cavity of one's heart and becomes entitled for the transcendental grace, and with the transcendental grace Lord Brahma multiplies as 10 Brahmas, and in the process the format of hypercube 4 transits and transforms into a format of hypercube 5. It is this transition and transformation which with its inherent potentialities will of its own take us to the self-referral domain, and with it the entire existence phenomenon of our solar universe and the format of the Sakal Rigved Samhita will go absolutely unified. It is this unified state of the format, features, and values of Shakala, Rigved, Samhita, of existence phenomenon with a human frame, which is the attainment of the Vedic systems. Sadhakas are fulfilled with intensity of virtue to be parallel to the unified format of a Sakal, Rigved, Samhita, with the existence phenomenon of our solar universe shall sit comfortably and to meditate within the cavity of their own heart, parallel to the meditation process of Creator the Supreme, and with it the transcendental grace will of its own get bestowed, will give rise to the complete attainment we are desiring for. Thank you very much.